Ever get the sense that a lot of new ideas are inspired from the past? Well, here in a musty shed at Southwood's Car Museum is an example of just that theory. It's an Owen magnetic car. It has a petrol engine and an electric motor. And guess what? The petrol engine generates power to the electric motor, which drives the wheels, which sounds very familiar to a car that's just hit the market now. The difference is the Owen magnetic came out in 1918. Back in 1918, the Owen wasn't a success. Only 2 of these cars were brought to New Zealand. This is the last known survivor. The basic problem with this car might sound familiar. Too expensive. Well, that also befall the Volt.
So, maybe nothing's ever as new as it looks. The Owen is very much the granddaddy of this Holden Volt though. It could have been a template. It's also an electric car that uses a petrol engine as a generator. This of course is what separates so-called range extender technology from hybrids. Hybrids are effectively petrol cars with electric assistance. 94 years ago the Owen Magnetic was way too advanced for its age. It cost a lot and hardly seemed worth the effort because petrol was cheap and plentiful. But this Volt, well, that's a different story. It seems right. If not for today, then certainly for our tomorrows. It's also expensive, of course, but the numbers are starting to fall differently. General Motors has literally bet billions on this. So how to start a Holden Volt? You've got to remember that while this car was designed to NASA standards, it's also developed for Americans who vote in B-grade actors as presidents. So it's got to be simple, and it really is. There are really just 2 steps to it. Step 1, press the power button with a nice little soundtrack. That starts the whole drivetrain. There's no start-up sound because there's no starter engine. Step 2, put the selector into drive. I hesitate to call it a gearbox because there are no gears. Step 3, drive. It makes sense that a technology leader should be packed with tasty tech treats. For example, there are no old-fashioned dials or gauges in here. There are just 2 screens on the dashboard. Both are colour LCDs, and between them you'll find and operate almost every conceivable function. Even the Bose sound system is special. It uses 30% less power than a conventional system, and it plays DVDs in addition to those Solar Century compact discs. The Volt also has a Bluetooth, so you can connect your phone to the hands-free system, but it's a bit behind the times because it lacks audio streaming, so instead you have to hook up your MP3 player with a wire through a USB port in the centre console. Also, the phone operation is voice activated, and it seems attuned to recognise only US accents. The car does have a 30GB hard drive built in, so you can upload your tunes to it, and of course it comes with sat-nav. Something that's not generally known about electric cars until you read the fine print is that they normally require 15 amp power to recharge. That's the kind of socket that you require for an oven or a spa pool. The Volt though, very cleverly, that runs off household power, so it's a 10 amp plug. Any old plug will do. Simply put it into the wall there, plug it into the car, and it's recharging. Of course it is a trickle charge, so it takes a fair while, 8 to 10 hours, to fully recharge the car from empty. I was going to have a cup of tea then.